Another video. As you can see by the title, I am going to be doing a tutorial on how to draw human bodies. So here I already have a photo or reference photo. So I always use a reference photo, as you can always see in my speed paints. So I use this app that helps me with positioning and posing, but also I do use photos and other things to help me with colors or just poses in general. So that's one thing, one tip, one of the biggest tips I can give you is to always use references. It's not like you're cheating or using references, because it's so much easier. Okay, so it's editing me here right now. So let's just pause this right now because I went on a freaking like 2-3 minute rant on how important references are. Yes, references are important, but like you don't need to go on a freaking like 3-minute rant on this. So I'm gonna be cutting that and go actually to the tutorial part, because I think that's what you guys are here for, not for me going on a freaking rant for 5 minutes. Okay, let's go back to the video now. I'd use something like this for a base. Then after I do something kind of like draw the basic shapes of the person, so of the thing that I'm doing, so and then you also need to struggle 5 years to make a circle. Also, another way to draw heads is you can have a circle. Here, let's have a circle. And then, this isn't a circle, I don't care. And then do something like this. So these lines here help you where the middle and where the eyes will be. And then you can just go from here and add the rest of it. And you can add as sharp or less as you want. Then you just keep going with the other shapes and stuff here. Mind the amazing notifications I have. So I just go along and kind of have all of the basic shapes and stuff here. For me, feet are really hard to do, so I kind of just like kind of roughly trace them and then modify them in my regular sketch, so it's kind of like an idea. I do the same with my hands as well. I picked kind of like a hard pose to follow along with, but it's a pose that I've already done for a photo already, so it doesn't really matter, it's easier. So I do something like this. If I can go faster. Remember, this is just like a sketch, it doesn't need to be perfect. You can always modify it in the regular one. Okay, after I got the basic shapes, and stuff like that, I'll move the photo off of the main part and kind of put it off to the side and try not to. Okay, there we go. So, struggling for a while. Okay, next what you want to do is, what I do is I focus a bit on anatomy, so how like the body structure and stuff like that work. So here, this is like the base of the hand right here ish. Oh, I'm doing it on the wrong way. Okay. And also make sure you're on the right layer before you do anything. So, oh my god, click the darn eraser already. So right here is the hand. And so next you want to have the basis of every other one. So for me, I kind of focus a bit on the anatomy and how every kind of body part works in a way, and then kind of go around like that. The neck depends on how long or like the shape you want, but I go kind of like this. So I go have 2 lines and then kind of go off like this. And then kind of connect to the arms. Kind of thing. And yeah, there we go. And then the legs, I kind of just do the same thing, but the thighs kind of are thicker, bigger on the top, and then the shins are just kind of skinny. For me, I don't really draw knees. I'm really bad at that, so it's kind of like a random joint, I guess. That kind of like makes it a bit harder to draw, but also like makes sense. So kind of do something like that. Make all of the things connected and make sense to your liking. And then after, I go over with the face and then the clothes. So first I usually start with the face, which I do on a different layer. And then once. And then so go on a different layer, and I erase these parts so I can see what I'm exactly drawing, but I usually erase these parts because I know where it is ish, and then erase these. You don't need to, but for me it's much easier with the way I do eyes. So then I draw the eyes, as long as I can do this properly. Depends on, for different expressions and stuff, best way to do that is with first how you are, which way your character is looking, and then that looks bad, whatever. Okay. So for expressions and stuff, make sure you have where the character's looking. So if it's like down here, there we go. And then also eyebrows and stuff like that are really important to get the expressions. So if you want them like kind of sympathetic like that, or rude or evil looking or mad like that kind of thing. So eyebrows and stuff like that, facial features, are really, really important to capture what you want. So for me, the most common thing for people who look evil is kind of doing something like that, and having the eyebrows look down to kind of look like that. I'm not gonna do everything because it'll take a bit too long, but you get the point. So I do the eyes, the eyebrows, and then I do the hair. So the hair depends on what style, but I also do this on a different layer, so I can remove the eyes and stuff like that. So first I just kind of go along the base. Oh yeah, first you need to add ears so you know where the heck the hair starts. So the way I draw ears are kind of like arc and then cut in like this, and then have these here. I'm very bad at details with ears. They usually get covered up with hair for me anyway, so it doesn't really matter how I draw them, but I do work on that. So first I do the hair. If it's a boy, I kind of do it like this and kind of go like here with different style along it, kind of like this, and also having some parts here kind of like waver, stuff like that. And then hair always usually needs to go on the face, because if it doesn't really make sense. Okay, I'm gonna do half boy, half girl hair, I guess. And then we're gonna remove the eyes here and remove this part here. So visibility for everything is really important to know what you're doing. And then here I just do for girl hair, I kind of do the same thing with maybe longer bangs or different style of bangs than what I kind of like, stuff like this kind of thing, or something like that, like the boys' hair. So sometimes for girls' hair and boys' hair, you do it over the ear or you do it under the ear. If it's under the ear, then you have to do something like this where it kind of comes up behind it. If it's over the ear, like a little bit, kind of go like this. But if it's just over it, you just hide the ear in general. So girls' hair, I kind of like bring it along and kind of have it either in the design and have the ends kind of like this, or the same way the bangs are, or just have it behind the person so that you don't really see it. So after I do the hair, I will do the clothing, which I also do on another layer so I don't erase accidentally something. So for bulky clothes, you have them, so what I do is I have them kind of away from the frame to know what the actual person, and to know where the clothing lines begin and end, so I know like how much of the bulk is it. If it's not really bulky clothes, it would be much closer to the person, much more fitting, will go against any curves or anything, including for girls, follow the curves. Looser clothes will not really follow curves a lot, and if they're really like poofy, then you have to like emphasize that kind of thing. So kind of like that. So the design and stuff like that is up to you. Shading is really important. So if I use a flat brush on Procreate and have the opacity a bit low, so let's say if I want a specific skin color like this. So I start with the base color. Well, first, the base color is always fully opaque, has the full opacity with a different brush most of the time. And then I go in with different shades of it, in with it over top of it with a lower opacity, so it kind of builds itself. So if I have, let's go back to it here. So the base color needs to be kind of in between all of the shadows and stuff like that you're planning to do. So if you want to do, like this is the main, and you have like darkest shadows like this, and the lightest color is like white, kind of whitish color, then something like a base color in between those two colors will be perfect. For blending, I use a flat brush with skin tones and have the opacity low too, so that I can kind of blend the shadows a little bit in together. It doesn't need to be perfect because shadows aren't perfect at all with shading and blending together. If you use Procreate, I use Alpha Lock, so I can shade and color things without problem, without different colors going in and stuff like that. So it's much easier to do things. So that's how I draw human bodies, is I first have a reference and go off that for poses. Next, I do all of the structure, lines, and all the basic shapes. And then I go over it with all of the limbs and arm, fixing any hands or anything. And then I go with the face and hair, and then go with the clothes. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments, or anything you want me to do for any tutorials, like more coloring tutorials or how to shade more, I can definitely do that. Also, this the way that I do it might not be the way you do it, because you might have a different style than me, but this is just something basic that I think that people need to know when they're starting, because how I used to do limbs was literally sticks was literally stick limbs and they had no curves or anything really. So that's something that I probably needed to know before when I started, but my style has definitely improved and stuff like that. So if you have any questions or anything you want me to go over in the next video, then just tell me in the comments and I'll definitely do them. Sorry for the person who requested this. It took a long time. I've been I've been doing some stuff with school and life's been crazy because COVID. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you want any other tutorials or anything else, just tell me in the comments. If you want me to draw anything from Encanto or Dream SMP. And yeah, I will be back sometime. Have a great day. Bye.